ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com. Supply KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 72 days. Live from the Busch Light Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Streaming live from hitthatline.com.
Go crazy at Bohm Walker. Go nuts.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Your Razorbacks are 2021 SEC champions. And Bohm Walker Stadium is an insane asylum.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Halftime today is brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings in Fort Smith, Conway, Little Rock, Sherwood, and Jonesboro. Buffalo Wild Wings.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Welcome into Halftime on a Thursday. So good to be with you. Phil Elson, Drew Barrett, Matty T. You can get with us. 877-377-6963. Bob Holt will join us at the bottom of this hour. It'll be good to introduce you to Bob. Drew, our usual Thursday guest. Probably, I don't want to put it in those terms. He is one of the most respected sports writers, I think, in the country. And will be a lot of fun talking with him. And we can get things going here as well. I feel like I've already done some halftime homework with you today, Drew. We just did it before we got on the show. What do I want to assign you later on? I already have some assignments because halftime homework is supposed to be about the co-hosts getting to know each other. And you and I have some ideas about the cities that we come from, and neither of us is from Arkansas, although I've lived in Arkansas longer than I lived in Pittsburgh. You're from Memphis, which isn't Arkansas, but I feel like you have a general understanding, better than I did when I first moved to this state.
Well, yeah, I mean, Memphis is right on the border of Tennessee and Arkansas. You come over to Arkansas. Used to come over to Arkansas before I lived here all the time. Go fishing on the White River or go up to Hardy for some trout fishing and on the Spring River. Do a little floating down the Spring River with DJ Supermoon. It's always a good time out there in Hardy, Arkansas.
That's great.
So, yeah, I know Arkansas.
I'm going to learn so many DJ names working with you. Like that's one thing. Now, SmackDown did some DJing, and there was some danger that went along with that. He never introduced me to any DJs. I introduced him to DJ Derek, the official DJ of the SEC. Ty never introduced me to any DJs. And you already have brought up like 3 or 4 DJ names.
At least 2. DJ Paul yesterday when we were talking about 3-6 Mafia. And now the famous DJ Supermoon that floats down the Spring River.
Wonderful. So, yeah, we'll be teaching our stuff that. But I already sent you, because tomorrow, I can't wait for tomorrow already. And it's tomorrow. But Bob Carpenter's going to join us, television voice of the Washington Nationals. Because we want to ask him about the thing with Scherzer from a couple of days ago and some other stuff, too. You don't want to just go in on that. But Carpenter's got the scorebook that almost every single announcer uses in baseball. I don't even just mean the majors. I mean minor leagues, college baseball.
I've used it.
You've used it that do high school baseball. Use the Bob Carpenter scorebook. It is market. He doesn't even have to market it. It is well known and understood that it's the
golden standard
scorebook.
Yeah,
it is. It's the standard. But I've never used one because I need more room. I have my own way of scoring a baseball game. I did create it myself, and it's nothing against Carpenter's scorebook. It's just that's for people with neater handwriting than me.
See, I have bad handwriting too, and that's why I like using Bob's. But I also like to have the pre-drawn diamond on there, because if I start trying to draw a diamond for each batter every time there's a hit or they're trying to go around, it's going to end up looking more square or more ovally. Like, my left-handedness is so bad.
Depending on how many Budweisers you've consumed, if you're scoring as a fan.
If I'm scoring as a fan, I just want to make it clear, officially working, especially as the official scorekeeper of University of Memphis softball games last year, I was never under the influence.
It's good to get that out
there. There are some parents out there that accuse me of being under the influence for not giving their kid a hit when it was an error, or not recording it as a sack when it wasn't.
Yeah. They're accusing you of being stupid or drunk, one or the other.
100%. Softball dads are the meanest people I've ever had to deal with.
Meaner than baseball dads?
Meaner than baseball moms.
Wow.
Yes, they are intense, and they've never seen a pretty pitch. They've never seen an ugly pitch. I've refrained.
Well, depending on who's throwing the pitch.
Exactly. Every pitch. Oh, that's a pretty pitch, Blue. That's a pretty pitch. I had one dad, so not to be mean to the University of Memphis, but it wasn't a great season for them. They went 10-40 this year, or 9-41 actually. Sorry, didn't mean to give them an extra win.
You could call that something different than just not great.
Not a great season for Natalie Poole and the
you don't
University
work
of
for
Memphis
that
Tigers.
university anymore. You can be honest. You don't have to go the public relations route here. You can say they stunk the joint out, because
it was really bad. They had terrible pitching, and it was bad. It got hard to watch a few times. Yeah. But I had a dad come up to the press box, knock on the window. I opened it up, and he proceeded to rant and cuss me out for about 5 to 10 minutes about how much of a disservice I have done. And this is like the last home weekend of the season. I've got 2 more games left to officially score for the NCAA statistics. And this dad is ripping into me, saying I don't know anything about softball, baseball rules. I don't know the difference between a bunt and a sack bunt. And I said, sir, if for one, I've known baseball and baseball rules. Now, softball is a little different, but I've known this game in one form or another since I was 4 years old. I've known how to keep score, Phil, since I was 6 years old when my dad taught me.
That's good.
I know the rules of the game. And one, if I'd have been doing it wrong, I'm sure the coaching staff would have let me know. But he just went on and finished with, you did such a disservice to this team this year. You should be ashamed of yourself, and walked away. And I just thought to myself, I should be ashamed? They're 9-40. I don't think I'm hurting anybody's 152 batting average.
Sir, your anger is misplaced. No, I'm not telling you to place that anger on your
daughter, but
please don't.
It's not my fault. I didn't make your daughter have a 6-game hitless streak, okay? It's not my fault she's 2 of 25 in the last 25 at-bats. That's not my fault.
Oh, man, that's always fun. That's on. I mean, and that just makes a rough season get even worse. And
it
I've been
does.
around some baseball teams like that. Yeah. How about last night, though, in the College World Series? That was a crazy, crazy ending. Just looked like Stanford's a strike away. Where have we seen this before? Of course, that was not in an elimination game for Arkansas. The non-catch seen around the world. But you were just as close to a victory as Vanderbilt was, or as Stanford was yesterday, with their ace on the mound and Brandon Beck, who had been just dealing since they brought him out of the bullpen. And wow, Vanderbilt able to put together a rally that went. And the next thing you know, Stanford's season is done. And Vanderbilt continues to play, man, and they're at a point now, because they got past the game that they weren't going to be using Kumar Rocker. And they do need back-to-back wins over NC State, which I think is going to be tough to do, because I don't think they'll be able to throw Leiter.
Probably not.
When did Leiter pitch? Was it Tuesday? It was Tuesday that he pitched. So that would be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I don't think they.
It's going to be. That's cutting it close, but we are at the end of the season.
If he goes on 3 days rest, it'll be in relief and not the 8 innings that he pitched the other day. But man, I mean, you have seen some great games in the College World Series of late, and the comebacks put together by Mississippi State and Vanderbilt the last 2 games. Like, I know, look, we're not rooting for the SEC or anything like that. It's just
it's been incredible to watch, though.
Even though the Hogs aren't there, this has been can you use the word enjoyable for a College World Series?
I think you can.
Felt like you should have been there for.
As someone who will eventually have a dog in the fight, the more that I get integrated into the Arkansas Razorback sports scene, and the more I meet you lovely listeners and learn to appreciate and love the Arkansas athletics, I'm sure I will have a dog in the fight. But as of this year, I really don't. And it's been enjoyable from an outsider's perspective, I think. I don't think you really needed a team to root for because it has been a lot of great baseball, and you just have to feel bad for Stanford to be up 4-0, collapse like that, just like Virginia did against State earlier in the week, and for it to end on a wild pitch. I mean, goodness gracious, that guy, somebody needs to be on, I'm not going to say suicide watch, but on bar watch, because he's sitting at the end of the bar for a long time. Somebody's got to make sure he goes home and showers.
The guy's a stud. I mean, he's one of the main reasons Stanford was even in the position to play in the College World Series, but it takes 2 losses, and in some cases, a lot of it wasn't even his fault. You know? I mean, Stanford kicked the ball around when Beck was out there. So I feel for that kid. You know, I do appreciate that you do look at the aspect of needing a dog in the fight here, as you are going to be covering Arkansas athletics for the remainder of your life here, Drew Pearson, or Drew Barrett. I'm going to remember your last name
eventually.
I promise you. But maybe part of halftime homework throughout the day today would be for listeners to help teach you what it's like to be a Razor. I don't want to say fan, but because when you're covering them, you're fan-ish. 877-377-6963. Educate Drew. What's it like to be a hog?
Previously on Ruskin and Zach.
This is such a scarcity mindset in Arkansas that instead of feeling good for more than 4 minutes that Dave's the coach of the year, everybody jumped right to, Opitz got screwed. This is such a scarcity mindset. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Everything is a slight. It's so, you can't be the number 1 team in the country and have a chip on your shoulder. You can't do it. You can't do it.
Check out the Fish City Grill Ruskin and Zach podcast on hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you...
Dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sacalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This song might make you feel cool, but it perfectly describes a fool. I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road and gonna ride till I can't no more, and can't nobody tell me nothing. This path will only lead you to God's wrath, because the Bible says the wicked refuse discipline and treat his words like trash. What good is a nice beat when you're headed down the wrong street? I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sacalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This song might make you feel cool, but it perfectly describes a fool. I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road and gonna ride till I can't no more, and can't nobody tell me nothing. This path will only lead you to God's wrath, because the Bible says the wicked refuse discipline and treat his words like trash. What good is a nice beat when you're headed down the wrong street? I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sacalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
To others.
Getting vaccinated is vital to keep you and your family safe. This is our best shot to return to normal and protect the ones we love.
Learn more at healthy.arkansas.gov. This message brought to you by the Arkansas Department of Health.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Well, I won't back down. No, I won't back down. You can stand me up at the gates of hell.
Away to Mintz, 3 to shoot. He'll drive the paint, blocked by Moody. Moses comes up with it, lead court. Davis leaves it for Smith, and a layup for Justin. The assist for Davis after the block by Moody. Hogs back up by 10, 54-44.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Follow the guys on Twitter at PhilElsonPXP, at Matt Travis, and at DBarrett36. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Hey, Drew, here's another assignment for you for the rest of this show. We'll do this in the second hour when we have an Alexander Dumas of the week.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to try to recall the dumbest play you've ever seen as a fan or a game that you're covering or a game that you played in. I've actually got one I did that was pretty darn stupid because I saw another play 2 days ago in Major League Baseball that almost rivals the Pirates' total Dumaserie a few weeks ago against the Cubs.
That was terrible.
Oh, that was awful. But there was one with the D-backs and the Brewers a couple of days ago that rivals it. So I want to ask the listeners, too, if you remember, what's the dumbest play that you've ever seen in your entire life? Because everybody's got one that usually is at the top of the list here. Let's go to Cody, who's giving us a call here. Cody, good to talk to you, man. You got Drew here to say hi to, and can you remember the dumbest play you've ever seen?
Yeah, what's up, Drew? What's up, guys?
What's up,
hey, what's up? Probably it's got to be a Chad Morris play call. I mean, you could just pick from any of them, I guess.
Take your pick.
Yeah. Hey, I was wanted to give a call in and tell Drew he's about to I heard him saying he's going to learn to love the Hogs and get tied in and everything. I think what he's going to learn to love the first is the delusion the Arkansas fan base lives in daily. We'll win one big game, and next thing you know, we're playing for the playoffs. And then we lose, and then everybody says fire the coach. It's like night and day difference day to day with Arkansas fan base, man. So you'll love that, and you'll always have people. You're always going to have people that think they can do it better than you. We've got a lot of armchair quarterbacks here in the great state of Arkansas, and we love it. We're crazy fan base, but man, the fans are amusing by themselves, and it's good. That's why the radio show I think that's so good. Is because of how exciting and entertaining some of these fans are, like Eddie from Clarksville. Has he called in yet, Phil?
He may be on hold right now, Cody.
He might be.
This will be the first time I've ever talked to Eddie from Clarksville.
He's in the on-deck circle, Cody, so you're in the batter's box.
Hey, let Drew talk to Eddie.
I've heard many things.
It's a matter of if Eddie lets Drew do the talking. You remember, that's the trick here. That's the trick.
Oh, I'm fully aware. That's why I'm saying he needs to try it so he can get it. If he can do that, I think he's going to be just fine.
Okay. And we do have the magic hold button if we've got to use it too. So, we'll see how it goes because it's coming up in just, a matter of moments.
Hey, Phil, real quick, and I'll get off so we can get to Eddie. Hey, how good I would have liked to see maybe Nebraska's in a different super regional. I would have liked to see what Nebraska did in Omaha because seeing what North Carolina State's doing, winning 2 games convincingly, like they should be there, acting like they should be there. We played some good teams too, and that's impressive, man. I think we ran into it. I didn't know this. Preseason, North Carolina State was in the top 15.
Oh, yeah, they were.
So I didn't know that. So
and
they've always had the chance.
They didn't have a good start to the season at all, Cody, but, man, about the halfway point, they really got going, and it's plain obvious, although they don't have a lot of depth. Their starting 9, and their starting 9 is as good as anybody in the country. I still feel like their starting pitching is throwing a little bit above their weight, but sometimes that happens when teams get hot.
You're right. But anyway, you guys have a good one. It's nice to talk to you for the first time, Drew, and good luck to you guys.
Hey, I appreciate it, Cody.
Thanks, Cody. Appreciate that very much. He's really offering luck because of what's about to go down here.
Right? I've heard a lot about Eddie from Clarksville. My buddy has told me that he's quite entertaining, but he's going to be a lot. So I'm ready for it, though.
Well, some people think he's entertaining, some don't, but we have changed the conversation with Eddie by having a conversation with Eddie, and Eddie is with us right here on Halftime. Good morning, Edward. Would you like to say hello to our new co-host here, Drew Barrett, and tell him a little bit about what it's like to be a Razorback fan?
Well, sir, certainly over the decades since I was 6 years old, in our football hall train, our basketball hall train, our baseball hall train, I've enjoyed some great moments. Some of my greatest moments, if I were to die tomorrow, I'd take to the heavens above. Some bash me, some trash me. But I'm reminded, somebody once said, sir, I'm a great history buff. In school, I loved history. A great abolitionist said this. Harriet Tubman in the Civil War said, every dream starts with a dreamer. Eddie from Clarksville certainly is a dreamer. And our programs, I got to see a national championship in my time in basketball, and the closest in football we've ever come, in my opinion, in 1978 in the Orange Bowl. We should have won the national championship. Was not the way the story should have been written. But in my opinion, we deserved it. Ended the season with a great win against Oklahoma, and we rallied them with 3 key players suspended. And Lou Holtz was a great motivator. And as I'm watching the College World Series, I think Coach Corbin is a great motivator. As you watch his tactic last night, he called his players in a critical moment of the game. And they stepped up after that meeting, and they answered the bell. And so I would not doubt, don't count out Vanderbilt, because in the moment, as great as I love our Razorback baseball team, they step up in a moment and get the job done. And so at home,
Eddie, I got to ask you a question here because I want to converse a little bit about this. I got into this in the first segment, and now I have forced myself at first to watch the College World Series games, as painful as it was at first. I'm not quite feeling the pain as much now because it's been almost 2 weeks since Arkansas was eliminated, and now I'm getting into enjoying the games. Do you feel that pain still, or are you more into the games now?
Well, sir, I tell you, like I said, you got Mississippi State left alive, Coach Lamonis. How precious are moments in time. I think I seen a stat this morning. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mississippi State's been there 11 times and come up empty. Could this be the year for them? But you look at Vanderbilt, they've been there, they've tasted it, they know how to win, they never panic, and they're never out of the game. And so a team like that, like Alabama, I refer to Vanderbilt as Alabama in baseball now, because in the moment, their players step up in big moments and get the job done.
Eddie, I've heard so many great things about you. I've heard about the Hog Delight, and I want you to explain that to me here in a little bit. But I got to ask, are you just rooting for the SEC? I mean, come on. What about NC State?
Well, sir, for the underdog, what a story if North Carolina State were to win it. The underdog, we all got to root for the underdog. I certainly could not root for Texas because I grew up, I was leaned on the Arkansas-Texas rivalry. And it was a whoop big silly when Texas came to town versus the Hook'em Horns. And you can bet this, come September 11th, in Razorback Stadium, I want to invite the fan base to pack that stadium. And let's give Texas a good dose of Woo Pig Suey. And hopefully our players on game day that day will step up in the moment and provide plays I call Hog Delight.
And tell them exactly what Hog Delight tastes like, Eddie, because you've given us an explanation of what it tastes like. I feel like you might need to change the name because Hog Delight for me sounds more like a dessert, but for you it tastes like a main dish.
Well, sir, just think about your favorite dessert. Think about Thanksgiving. Think about Christmas. All the goodies laid out on the table. Hog Delight, sir, is our players, and certainly there's been players over the decades, even this year. Look at Kevin Cox. What did he provide? every time he stepped out on the mound, he provided hog delight to our fan base.
Please don't
to
tell
our
me hog
program.
delight tastes like beet juice, because I drank some beet juice during the postseason, and I really wasn't a big fan of the flavor. I want hog delight to taste better than that.
Well, sir, like I said, every dream starts with a dreamer. And certainly on the Bo Manley show, I told him one of my biggest dreams in life, and it is. See, in 1978, I was a young man. I was 13. I grew up with a passion. And so I'll be a Hawk if they didn't win a game. But to attend the game, they called the big shootout between Arkansas and Texas. I gave it that magnitude. What do you think Eddie from Clarksville would be like? I mean, over the decades, I've stuck with them. I've sat in the rain. I've sat in the heat. I've taken frostbite. I've covered countless miles and called the Hogs. And I don't, no matter where I go, I always got something. I never leave the house without something Razorback.
Eddie, we're coming up against the break here, man. I really appreciate your phone call. It's great conversing with you, and I hopefully can speak for Drew when it comes to that as well. Thank you so much.
Oh, great. Thank you, Eddie.
Yeah. Yeah, he has definitely sacrificed countless calories on radio stations across the natural state, being one of the more vociferous Razorback fans. And by the way, this is the same guy who you never know who he's going to bring up on a phone call, because a year ago he marked himself as a giant Tupac Shakur fan.
Really?
And
Eddie.
now he has brought up Harriet Tubman on one of his phone calls. Like, we're getting a history lesson at times here.
He did say he was a history buff at the beginning, so.
You never know what you're going to get. You never know what you're going to get. All right, after the break, we're talking with our buddy Bob Holt from the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette, and we'll introduce Drew to him. He's not a Razorback fan, but he can take you through the years, that's for sure. Stay with us on Halftime.
At CDW, we get that hybrid working might take some getting used to.
Yep, I'm only in the office part-time, so my cat can adjust to me being gone.
How nice. Wherever you're working, CDW can help you stay connected by implementing secure by design HP Chrome OS devices with built-in virus protection.
Gotta run. The boss is calling.
Mr. Whiskers sounds very demanding. IT orchestration by CDW. People who get it. Find out more at cdw.com/HP Chromebook.
You're gearing up to get back out on the field, so you ordered ball game essentials like a new glove, cleats, and a jumbo pack of sunflower seeds. And you used your Bank of America customized cash rewards credit card, choosing to earn 3% cash back on online shopping, which could increase to 5.25% as a preferred rewards member. Rewards that you put toward the cost of an essential piece of your post-game recovery. A heating pad. Apply for yours at bankofamerica.com/more rewarding. Copyright 2021 Bank of America Corporation.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here from Rath Auto Resources. I need a vacation, and I bet you do too. But I can't take a break until I take in 57 trades. So this month, I'll pay you up to $4 grand more than Kelley Blue Book value when you trade for the Rath Road Ready vehicle of your choice. And we've got a great selection, each one hand-picked and inspected in our Meineke Car Care Center. So send your old ride packing and get up to $4 grand more than it's worth when you hit the road in a nicer, newer car. Trip delayed by past credit mishaps? Don't worry, we've mapped out the road to more approvals, and you could get up to $4 grand more than Kelley Blue Book value for your trade. Keeping the car you have? Get it ready for summer in our Meineke Car Care Center with free AC checks, half off brakes, and buy 3 get 1 free on all tires. Only at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources, and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
Requires bank approval. Negative equity may be refinanced. Offer absolutely ends by June 30th, 2021.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Gelco for hard work and the great outdoors.
With quality and price and comfort you like, and savings that you're looking for.
We've got the shoes and boots, steel toes too, outerwear and a whole lot more.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Gelco
For hard work and the great outdoors.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
River City Bistro is Fort Smith's favorite place for lunch, dinner, and brunch. Open 7 days a week, both on the patio and cozy dining room. River City Bistro, locally owned and open weekdays 11 till 8, Saturdays 10 till 8, and Sundays 10 till 3. Want River City Bistro curbside to go? Just search on Facebook or Instagram for River City Bistro or go to rcbistro.com. River City Bistro, 7320 Rogers Avenue in the Stonewood Village Shopping Center.
Make your car buying experience better at Hertz Car Sales. The goal is to provide customers with a wide selection of low-mileage, extra-clean vehicles, providing their buyers with a better way to drive. A professional sales staff, quality customer service, along with a relaxing atmosphere is what you find every time at Hertz Car Sales. What are you waiting for? Make the short drive to 2810 Midland Boulevard or call them today at 783-1722. You can also check them out online at buyfromhertz.com. Hertz Car Sales, when you're ready.
This is ESPN 95.3.
All my exes live in Texas, and Texas is a place I dearly love to be, but all
Daniels in the front court, crosses over, looks right corner. Mason gives it to Destiny Oberg. And the sophomore from Minnesota walks it right to Dungy. Chelsea gets a good look at a three. Over Briggs, buckets for Chelsea Dungy.
Huge quarter for Chelsea Dungy.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett. The Morning Rush, Halftime, Ruskin and Zach, the Hog Talk Podcast. Fantasy Football Sunday and Primetime Preps, all available on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Just type Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Our podcasts are on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, hitthatline.com, Anchor, TuneIn, Stitcher, and Google Play.
We did not have a chance to talk with Bob Holt last week because as the baseball season for Arkansas came to an end, Bob took the opportunity to take a well-deserved vacation, and is back on the beat and back on Halftime with us today. Bob, how was the trip last week?
It was nice. It was the first time I've been out of town since the 2020 SEC tournament, basketball tournament. I got to see some family, and it was nice just to relax a little bit. Nothing earth-shattering. I mean, I didn't go to Hawaii or anything, but it was a nice time.
Yeah, nobody would ever confuse Missouri with Hawaii. But I think I saw a photo that you had sent out from the Negro League Museum and Hall of Fame in Kansas City, which is, I'm not going to put it on the level of Hawaii, but it's one of the coolest places for a sports fan to visit.
Yeah, I went to the museum years ago, and I know they've upgraded in terms of space. And I think I must have been to the one before they got a bigger space because it was, it's not Cooperstown, but it's a very nice museum, a lot of good artifacts there. And if you like jazz music or have an interest in the history of jazz, they're literally in the same building. You can get a combo ticket that's not super expensive. I think the lady gave me the senior discount. I don't know if I actually qualify. I'm old, I'm not quite that old, baby, but I got a combo ticket for $13, which I thought was pretty reasonable.
Hey, Bob, you heard the laugh here of our new co-host on Halftime. That's Drew Barrett, who he's from Memphis, worked in Memphis sports radio for the last 7 years, and we've been trying to introduce a few things about what it's like to be a Razorback fan. Now, I mean, you're not from Arkansas, but you've been on the Razorback beat now since the early 1980s. How long did it feel for you before you felt like you had an understanding about the people that you were writing for?
Oh, it probably took a good year. I tried to do a lot of research.
when I got hired, they, I think they may still have these in libraries, but I was in Little Rock for a couple of weeks at the, working out of the Democrat Gazette office down there, and they had these big stacks of bound copies of the paper. The Democrat, back then it was the Arkansas Democrat and the Gazette, and I just poured over those and read as much as I could about Arkansas and kind of got a feel for how they were covered, how the Razorbacks were covered. Like, okay, if the third-string quarterback has a sprained ankle, that's a story. A lot of cases, that's not a story. But the Razorbacks are like, the NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball. I guess not the NHL, although I think there's a club hockey team. But, it made me realize, I think I knew when I took the job what a big deal the Razorbacks were in Arkansas. And of course, I'd covered Nebraska some with the Big 8 being from Missouri. But, that really made me realize what a big deal Arkansas was. And, that's stayed true through all the years, obviously.
Yeah, but I'm slowly learning, slowly absorbing. And before we get into our actual conversation about everything Arkansas, I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up that apparently we have a friend in common and somebody I hold a lot of respect to, and I'm sure you do. Chuck Galena told me that you two knew each other.
Oh, yeah, Chuck's the best. I got to know Chuck when he was the Auburn basketball SID. And, he's a great guy, and he's a big Cardinals fan, I know. And, he still has Cardinal season tickets. I know he left Auburn and went to back to Memphis, which is hometown. Yeah, Chuck's one of the best guys in the business I've ever been around. Unfortunately, I haven't gotten to see him in quite a while. I'd have to think about the last time. But, yeah, one of the great things about, whenever Auburn would come to town is Chuck would take a group of guys to Herman's, and he was, well, not always, but if I could make it, he was usually nice enough to include me in that group too. So that was always a very nice thing. But even without Herman, I think the world of Chuck.
Oh yeah, he's technically my boss at the University of Memphis, as he was the interim head of communications in the athletic department. Great guy to work with, and just an all-around great person. But Dave Van Horn obviously had his kind of postseason exit interview. What was the main thing that stuck out to you as far as the team moving forward that Dave Van Horn said yesterday?
Well, I guess the biggest news to me was he mentioned that Peyton Paulette is a very talented pitcher, and we kind of assumed he was going to need Tommy John surgery. In the Florida series, he came off the mound, looked like a pretty serious elbow injury. And Dave said yesterday that they haven't, it sounds like they've had pretty extensive testing and with some medical places that specialize in this, and that they haven't been able to find a tear in his elbow, which is great news. Now, Dave didn't totally rule out that there isn't a tear in there, but it sounds like they've looked pretty long and hard for a tear, and they haven't been able to find one. That's great news. So, assuming, he's pain-free, he could, start pitching again here probably in a few weeks and be ready for fall ball and be ready for the season. So that to me was the number one thing, that Peyton Paulette's injury hopefully is not as serious as we first thought, and that he'd be ready to go for next season from the start.
That's great. I was excited about hearing that too, because I was really nervous about Peyton. Did you have a sense from Dave that the way that this last season ended might stay with him a little bit? Because I think he said all the right things, and I believe him about looking at this season as a success. Because it was. You win an SEC championship, you win a tournament championship, on a losing week in the regular season. You have the top player in the country. There's always that if at the end, and 20 years from now, we'll all remember that part of this great season too. You just can't get past that. Did you have that sense from Dave too?
Well, Dave's been doing this a long time. He's been to Omaha, excuse me, I think it's 8 times, right? I think he leads all active coaches. And he's going to do this a while longer. You asked him about that, and I'd have to look it up. I think Dave's 60 or 61, but he obviously takes good care of himself. And I could see him coaching another 10 years. I don't know if he wants to do that long, but I was thinking about this. I know obviously a lot of people are disappointed they didn't get to Omaha. That's the ultimate goal, but you think about it, every year there's usually 2, 3, 4 top 8 seeds that don't make it. It's just, the law of averages, just like in basketball. A lot of number 1 seeds don't get to the Final Four to the Elite 8 or whatever. And, there's been years, I think the fans, what I hope they would do is think back to other years. Like, was it 2015 when Arkansas was the number 3 seed? Not overall, but in the Stillwater Regional. So if you're number 3 seed and you're from a Power 5 and at large, that means you probably were one of the last teams in the field. I mean, Arkansas was probably rated about 35th or something that year, and they got hot, and Benintendi had an incredible year, and they went to the College World Series as a number 3 seed. And that happens sometimes. I think Fresno State won it all as a 3 seed. Maybe some other teams have done that. But, sometimes it's about getting hot at the right time, like that year when Arkansas went to Omaha totally unexpectedly. And sometimes it's about running into the wrong team at the wrong time. And I'd say, if people say, what happened to Arkansas? I'd say what happened to them, a lot of what happened to them was NC State, who played very, very well the second half of the season. And they probably deserved to be a 16 or 17 seed or, whatever. I guess they were a 17 seed, technically, if they went to play a 16 seed in La Tech. But they're playing like a top 5 seed right now. They might win it all. We'll see what happens. They're going to have to play Vanderbilt again, I guess, on Friday. But, I think people have to understand, Dave, a lot of times he uses that line, it's baseball. And, there are years that, on paper, you should get to Omaha and you don't. And there are years where you don't expect it and you do. And, people have to enjoy kind of the ebb and flow of it all. But, this is Arkansas put together really one of the great seasons, regular season in college baseball history. I'd say winning the SEC regular season and winning the tournament, that's just really, really tough to do.
Yeah, the outcome wasn't what you expected or really wanted, but the ride was so much fun that I think as fans and Dave Van Horn and his team really get some time to reflect on the year, I think that it'll be just full of great memories and not so much of a bad taste in their mouth. But obviously Kevin Kopps had one of the, if not the best season in college baseball history and what he was able to do from the mound. To get the same type of productivity that Kopps gave you, how many different guys is it going to take to give you somewhat of a resemblance of what Kopps brought?
Man, that's a great question. You just think about, how he was able to throw, multiple innings and multiple games on weekends. I think he threw 4+ innings, like, I don't know, close to 20 times. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the year, he threw 8 innings after throwing 2 innings the day before, which is that's really unheard of. And so, he basically, every weekend he did the work of a couple quality relievers. He was almost like a bullpen unto himself, Yeah. And then when he needed him to start, I know it didn't, final wasn't what Arkansas wanted, but when they needed a quality start from him at the end of the year, he did that too. And he could start games. If he'd been a starter this year, he probably would have been an All-American. But if you're starting, you're not going to be able to throw in other games. He did that. He threw 10 innings, I guess, combined against NC State, but. Most weekends, I think they used him the right way because he could help them get 2, even 3 wins some weekends. And that's just, I just can't think of another guy who ever did that. I was just looking at the stats. He threw like 80-something innings, which is just unbelievable. And, there aren't many pitchers in the country that threw that many innings this year, even guys in Omaha. And so, I think, you probably need about 3 guys to replace him. A couple good, good relievers that you can run on the weekend. So, basically he's irreplaceable. You just have to do the best you can. You just appreciate what he did.
Would it be accurate to end this conversation here by saying that Kevin Kopps was to Arkansas, maybe even more so to Arkansas, what Willie Hernandez was to the 1984 Detroit Tigers? Like a relief pitcher that came out of nowhere to win an MVP award. That's what Willie Hernandez did in '84. It's kind of what Kevin did this year, too.
Yeah, I think Hernandez had 47 saves that year, and he'd been a good reliever. He'd been with the Phillies. I can't remember who he traded for him, but it was a heck of a trade. Kind of the John Smoltz trade in reverse. But yeah, he just had an unbelievable year. Not just the Cy Young winner, the MVP winner. And but I'd have to say, being obviously it's apples and oranges. Talking about 162 game schedule. But yeah, I think Kevin Kopps is every bit as important to the Razorbacks as Willie Hernandez was. And honestly, when you look at you're talking about 64 games Arkansas played. I have to say Kopps probably did more for the Razorbacks than Hernandez did for the Tigers even.
It's amazing when you think about it. All right, Bob, we'll let you go, man. Appreciate you. It's good to get back with you, and looking forward to whatever we can figure out talking about this summer, which eventually will be pointing towards football.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, you guys take care.
Thanks, Bob.
You got it. Bob Holt, Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. Drew, one thing you got to know about Bob is that during SEC Media Days, usually the first question of each press conference is reserved for him. It's amazing. Also, what is amazing, Phil floats. Nothing says summer fun like fishing with a Phil bobber with the family. America's favorite floats by Phil are available in a variety of sizes and colors. They're made from premium balsa wood and made by the thousands at Pradco in Fort Smith. These are great at detecting the slightest bites by fish and work great in tandem with crickets and red worms. Phil floats. They're available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LearNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. America's favorite floats by Phil. We're back after the break.
I chose Actually Air just because I've always wanted to work for the best. I asked a lot of folks at my church who the best heat and air company is, and 90% of the people I talked to said Ashley was the best. So I wanted to work for the best.
Great things are happening at Ashley Air. We're looking for skilled service and installation technicians for our Fort Smith and Northwest Arkansas locations. We're willing to pay the right person up to $5,000 in hiring bonuses. To apply online, visit our website at ashley.air.com.
AshleyAir.com.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit rileyfarmdental.com.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
Live music is back on the patio at Joe's Grill and Cantina every Tuesday and Saturday night. Grab your favorite drink and sit on the patio and enjoy your favorite tunes. And don't forget brunch every Saturday starting at 10:45 at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Different brunch specials and your favorite brunch cocktails. Joe's Grill and Cantina. Live music, Taco Tuesday, daily specials, and brunch on Saturdays. Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Hi, this is Melissa with True Grit Running Company. Each day we see familiar faces who have supported us from the beginning because they see the benefits of an active lifestyle. We're also always meeting new customers who are taking their first steps towards making running or walking a part of daily life. We have the opportunity to share in their successes and help them achieve their goals. The people of Fort Smith and the River Valley are why we believe we were voted one of the best running stores in America. Visit us and see how we can help you. True Grit Running Company, 6808 Rogers Avenue, Suite B, behind Chick-fil-A.
For more than 80 years, Forest Grin Inc. has been building the foundations of the River Valley and beyond. Forest Grin, a destination point for men and women with a drive toward excellence, is now hiring experienced dump truck drivers. CDL Class A or B license with medical card is required. Apply now from any mobile device at forestgrininc.com, a heritage company and a premier employer. Forest Grin offers top wages and benefits. Apply today at forestgrininc.com. Become part of the Forest Grin legacy. Apply now on any device at forestgrininc.com. Forest Grin Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
You know the Sunbelt Chemical and Equipment in Fort Smith is your go-to shop for everything pressure washers. But did you know that they also handle your industrial pump and supply needs too? It doesn't stop there. Sunbelt Chemical and Equipment's industrial vacuum trucks can handle dry, liquid, and even sludge removal from several hundred feet away. Leave the cleanup to the professionals. Contact Sunbelt Chemical and Equipment at 782-3762. That's 782-3762. Sunbelt Chemical and Equipment, 3116 Wheeler Avenue in Fort Smith. Smith.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Would printing from your phone or tablet make your life easier? Are you emailing files to yourself so that you can print them from your desktop or laptop? The Xerox VersaLink and AltaLink lines of network printers and multifunction printers will natively print using your phone's built-in capabilities. Apple AirPrint and Google Cloud Printing just work. To order yours today, give us a call at 783-6600 or visit dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey! Long distance information, give me Memphis, Tennessee. Help me find the party, tried to get in touch with me. She could not leave her number, but I know who placed the call. 'Cause my uncle took the message and he wrote it on the wall.
Everson's going to throw this time. Pumps once, looking down the middle of the field. Wide open in the end zone. Complete touchdown. Arkansas trailing Burks behind everybody. KJ put it right on the money.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Today is National Handshake Day. We're back to doing handshakes now, right?
Yes,
I have been doing the handshakes. Drew, did you do the fist pound or the elbow bump during all the shutdown and before we got back to doing handshakes again?
I did both because I am a big handshake person, and I was telling you and Maddie before the show, handshakes are important to me. You can learn a lot about a person due to their handshake. So it's just
the first
naturally
impression thing, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. So naturally, even during all this, I would just reach out my hand, and then most of the time they would kind of reach out and they'd go, "Oh no," and then you get in this awkward like dance with them, like fist bump, elbow, like which do you do? Ha ha ha. Type of situation.
One thing you can't tell about a person's handshake is how recently they washed their hands and if they did after they went to the bathroom. So I'm gonna.
I just don't try to think about it.
I'm gonna miss the fist bumps.
We ask that the recently vaccinated please lick your hand first and then reach out to shake so that we can be assured.
I'm double vaxxed, so I'll shake anybody's hand. I'm good. I feel invincible.
Well, handshakes are back, but apparently high fives are out at the Olympics. How do you how exactly do you enforce a no high fives rule these are among
what about a low
ticket
five?
holders? Exactly. I mean, if you're gonna you have to ban every five, not just the high one.
No up highs, but down lows are perfectly fine.
Apparently, a low two is.
And they're definitely all four too slows.
Too slow. There you go.
Well, all right. So no alcohol, no high fives. You're not even allowed to cheer.
Why even have this stupid Olympics at all?
Well, apparently the emperor doesn't.
This is a lot of money.
Olympics either.
Also, did y'all know that Japan still had an emperor?
I did. Yes, that was part of the surrender in World War II. Was that they were allowed to keep the emperor, but he was going to be stripped of all of his political powers.
So he's like the Queen in England. He's just kind of the face.
No, I think the Queen in England actually has some real power that doesn't really get wielded. The emperor is truly just a figurehead and nothing else.
Okay.
Now. He's old, but they still apparently want to hear what he has to say as to whether or not there should be Olympics.
Well, he doesn't. He definitely does not want the Olympics, just due to the fact that he is pretty much all on board with the hashtag cancel the Olympic Games that's been going on throughout Japan, just due to the fact that while we are getting out of the woods here in the United States with all the COVID-19 stuff, Japan, they're still right there in the thick of things. Their vaccination numbers aren't where they probably should be to be welcoming in athletes and fans from around the world, and they've already had a couple of positive tests from Team Uganda, who is already in Japan doing some training there. They've already had to have quarantine there. The citizens of Japan don't want it. The reason why it has to go on is Japan's already spent the money. They need the money. They can't cancel it because that's just billions of dollars going down the tube that could possibly wreck their economy. And it's always a gamble when you host the Olympics, which is why I never understand why so many countries put in bids, because if it doesn't go well, you can ruin your economy and bankrupt yourself for years.
There hasn't been nearly the amount of bids that there used to be because of that very reason. And as I understand, I don't remember if LA was awarded the Olympics or not, but in their last bid, they basically were saying, look at all of the sports venues we already have.
No
not
need
the
to
ones
build.
that we're not going to build for you. So I mean, I think at that point they're not looking at it like that anymore. And I mean, the Olympics are entertaining, no doubt. I mean, you end up watching things that you would never watch for the other 3.5 years. But it seems like the show's going to go on, and there's not really much that the emperor or the Japanese government right now is going to do about it, because the rosters are being set and athletes are already arriving.
And technically, Japan doesn't even have the authority to cancel the games. It's the IOC. When you are selected as the host country in the contractual clauses, it tells you that you have no power to move the games or to call them off. Only the IOC does. So all this hate at Japan, it's not really their fault. It's the greedy IOC, which everybody, if you've been alive for the last 100 years, knows how greedy those people are.
Yeah, I look at the IOC as definitely a greedier, like an extreme greedy organization, and different than the sort of greed that we'll associate with the NCAA, because I do think that those people make a lot more money running that IOC deal. There was one thing that you had mentioned there about like the vaccination rates in Japan and all of that, and they're reducing the amount of people that they can be at these venues. You know, let's just look at what happened this week in our very state. This one day after another, you had the University of Arkansas Athletic Department, rightfully so, announce full attendance for football season. And then I don't remember if it was the day after or 2 days after that, but it was pretty close. You ended up with a big jump in COVID cases, you know, in the hundreds more, and it's not like it doesn't look like we're on our way to another, major surge or anything like that, but it just, that's not the kind of I don't blame the university for doing what they did. I mean, that's not on them about the vaccination rates right now. We got to get these rates up, because I want these football games at 100%. I don't want them to be dangerous moments.
Well, you got the Delta variant now.
Right,
I saw that.
That's exactly right. But as far as I know, the vaccine's still going to be able to protect you against that. Anyway, just go get the jab.
We got ours.
I'm good.
Good. My microphone right now doesn't have it either, because I keep talking into it. 877-377-6963. Into the second hour. It is not Mount Rushmore season. That's on the verboten list. It's magazine season. And getting into that next.
Fitness will always be about keeping a routine. And the best routines in life will always make time for enjoying yourself. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
New Bud Light Seltzer?
Yep.
A hard seltzer with a hint of fruit flavor.
Yep.
Can I try one?
Yep.
That tastes great.
Told you.
Bud Light Seltzer, unquestionably good. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beers, beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
If you're looking for an all-you-can-eat catfish destination, head to the Catfish Kitchen in Van Buren. Now serving family-style, all-you-can-eat catfish, chicken tenders, fried shrimp, fries, and all the fixins'. All-you-can-eat family-style for only $22.95. Add crab legs for just $20 more. The Catfish Kitchen still has 2- and 4-piece dinners available. Head to the Catfish Kitchen in Van Buren. Now open Wednesday through Saturday, 11 till 8. The Catfish Kitchen at the top of Logtown Hill, across from the police station in Van Buren.
Warmer weather is on the way. Don't wait till you're sweating in a hot car. Get to Cherokee Tire & More in Mansfield, where they are ready to provide AC services for all of your vehicles. Whatever service you need for your vehicle, give Cherokee Tire & More a call for a time to come by. Cherokee Tire & More also has big truck and ATV tires, along with truck accessories like rough country lift kits. Located at 700 Highway 71 North in Mansfield, Cherokee Tire & More is open Monday through Friday 7 to 5:30 and Saturday 7:30 till 2.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
Call Chris Dooley for a free insurance review. 646-6792.
Doe's Eat Place, serving award-winning steaks, has now added lobster tail and salmon to the menu. You can also enjoy delicious appetizers along with your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Doe's Eat Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended. Call 784-9111. That's 784-9111. Doe's Eat Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. Our high this afternoon into the low 90s. Later on tonight, partly cloudy, low 70s. Slim chance of seeing a shower or storm for Friday. Our high in the low to mid 90s. And then showers and storms increasing Saturday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Check out the Hog Talk podcast. Find it on hitthatline.com or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Proceed.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3.
It's what I always listen to.
Live from the Bushlight Studios.
I love Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
And this one belongs to the Razorbacks.
Streaming live from
hitthatline.com. Go crazy at Baum Walker. Go nuts.
This is Halftime with Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious...
Your Razorbacks are 2021 SEC champions. And Baum Walker Stadium is an insane asylum.
I have been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Judging by the sound of it, so has everyone else.
Halftime today is brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings in Fort Smith, Conway, Little Rock, Sherwood, and Jonesboro. Buffalo Wild Wings.
Hey, hold on, it's almost halftime.
All right, into the second hour of Halftime. No guests, just you and us. We got lots we can get to. What do you do instead of a high five at the Olympics? How do you celebrate something that happens? You just look at someone and smile?
I guess so.
It's never really, the smile is nice, but man, you need to be able to at least
But smiles can also be creepy. I don't know if I've ever had a creepy high five. I've seen creepy smiles though.
Oh, there's been awkward high fives.
Awkward, yes, but creepy? I don't know. I don't know about creepy high fives. Creepy smiles, 100%.
I have definitely seen my share of creepy smiles. I've had my share of gross feeling handshakes.
Mm-hmm.
I know what you're getting at with you're a handshake guy. You want to feel a good grip by yourself. By the way, not too hard. Like,
no,
please let's not be hand crushers.
But not a dead fish either.
Exactly. Not the dead fish. You want your handshake fish to be living at that very moment. So.
You're not a woman in the Victorian era about to curtsy me. Shake my hand.
We are not just holding the tips
a little
of fingers.
dainty just.
Yes.
Are you just going to curtsy at the Olympics for a celebration of,
you
of
can.
a game-winning goal or something like that?
Bows and curtsies and.
If you can't high five, I'm sure. I guess like kissing each other on the cheek is out of the question too.
Throwing it back to the Victorian age for the.
Yes, if you can't high fives, does that mean butt slaps are out?
Well, what's wrong with tapping somebody on the butt? Handshakes are one thing. Tapping someone on the butt when they've got their pants on, it should be okay.
I think it is.
There's a layer in between.
By the way, did we have any pitchers deep-pantsing yesterday? I don't think there were.
We didn't have any deep-pantsing, but we did have some ridiculous of checks. So this is the stupidest thing, and for anybody who thinks that they're checking just because they think that their spin rate is going up or the other team is like, hey, his ball wasn't moving like that a minute ago. Mickey, hopefully I say his last name right, Janis, a 33-year-old rookie for the Baltimore Orioles. He made his MLB debut last night at Oriole Park at Camden Yards against the Astros. Now, the Orioles, they lost 13-0.
Nice debut. Well done. Oh, boy.
It isn't – that's not the story. That's not shocking. Of course, that's what happens. But this is his first appearance in the bigs. He was checked by the umpires for an illegal substance on his person to make sure that his spin rate wasn't going up. Mickey Janis is a knuckleballer. He has no spin rate. How can you check somebody for an illegal substance to help spin rate on a knuckleballer?
That's the best thing about this whole thing. And I remember talking about this with Bubba on a baseball broadcast, and we were discussing spin rates and how there are no knuckleballers that we know of in college baseball. And Janice had just put out a video, I think, that week. You've probably seen this video, Drew, of he's explaining how he grips the knuckleball, how to throw it, and then there's a short video of him throwing it where you can see from the side, this was amazing camera work, how the ball is not spinning at all.
Doesn't move.
So in this day and age where the whole idea is to jack, and this should be on the verboten list, but I'm going to throw it out there. They want to jack that spin rate up all the way. The whole idea of the knuckleball is to do the exact opposite of that. Like you want a spin rate of 1.
And whether this is 100% factual or not, I saw it reported by guys like Dan Clark, who used to work for the Baltimore Sun, used to cover the Orioles. I've seen it from people from MASN, that one of the reasons that they brought a 33-year-old knuckleballer who's been in the minor league since 2010 up was to combat the spin rate so that there wouldn't have to be stoppages for checking pitchers for illegal substances. Like, it was actually put in the thought of why they brought him up from AAA Norfolk is to counteract the insane checking of pitchers. And the umpires did it anyway.
That's weird. Really weird. But at that point, you just go out there and just say, hey, don't mind this emery board that I've got in my back pocket, please. Don't mind that at all. Yeah, that is getting to the idea of ridiculous.
It really has been. And
another thing I wanted to touch on here, and it's not Mount Rushmore season. It is magazine season, and we already had Athlon come out last month. That was last month, right?
I believe so.
Athlon's the collegiate baseball newspaper of college football. They come out so early with all of their lists and predictions and everything like that. So Athlon came out, but the one that really gets people fired up now is when the Phil Steele magazine starts showing up on people's front doors, and I guess it's in a couple of weeks in the newsstands, if there are such things now. But Phil Steele's magazine is out. I always love how he goes to a fourth team in every league, including long snappers on the fourth team. Like you've really dug into the weeds when you've picked the fourth best long snapper in every league. Arkansas, he's got Jordan Silver as the third best long snapper in the SEC. Fourth team, though, isn't that? And so Traylon Smith and Ricky Stromberg are on Phil Steele's fourth team for all SEC. Isn't that really what honorable mention is?
I think that's exactly what it is. And I think, honestly, at this point, I think it's just Phil showing off of showing why his magazine is the golden standard of saying, did any other magazine come out with a fourth team? And also, it's an easy way to kind of, for anybody that you had on the fringe, to kind of be right at the end of the season. Say a guy that a lot of people had left off for a second or third team makes that second or third team. Phil puts him on his fourth and say, hey, I knew this guy was going to be good. He overachieved, but I knew it. It's a good way to cover your butt if you get something wrong.
Yeah. It is. It is. It's just, it does seem like it's not like necessarily bragging that he's doing it, but it's just like, see how far we go? Athlon's going to give you 3 teams. We're going to give you a 4th.
I honestly think Phil starts working on next year's magazine on the first day of college football.
Well, and he's on the phone with all the coaches. At least if I believe what he's tweeting, and I wouldn't think that he's lying about this stuff. So, I mean, it is well informed. Traylon Burks on the first team All-America list on the Phil Steele magazine. Grant Morgan and Jalen Catalon are all second team All-Americans. Now, I don't have all the magazines dating back years now, but it's got to be a minute since the last time that Arkansas had 3 players on the top 2 All-America preseason teams of any magazine. Right?
Yeah, it has to have been a few years, and it's just a testimony to what Sam Pittman has been able to do in this program in such a short time, of being able to revitalize a proud and very heavy traditional program at the University of Arkansas. And hopefully that this is just a sign of things to come, that they're not just going to be Phil Steele's and other people's preseason All-Americans. They're going to finish this season as All-Americans, because while it's great to have some praise in June, it's much better in December.
Yeah, it's always going to be better in December, no matter what. But so magazine season's out, and this is not going to be an outlier, really. I mean, you're going to have, when you have these players returning here. I mean, Traylon Burks is, Athlon had him all SEC second team, which doesn't really feel like an accurate assessment of his abilities or what he should be able to produce next year. Maybe they're putting that on KJ Jefferson more than anything else, because Traylon Burks for me is going to be one of the 4 or 5 best receivers in the country next year.
I mean, he's definitely getting over 1,000 yards. I think he was just a bit short of that last year, if I'm not mistaken. He's going to get over the 1,000 mark and could possibly get up around 12. I mean, he's an incredible athlete.
I love Catalon. I've been a big fan of his since he got on campus, and I'd love to see if maybe he's got the stuff to get first-team All-America too. I think he does. I really think he does. So, I mean, these, again, it's magazine season. These are the first 2 that are coming out, and I mean, I don't even remember the entire list of all of them that are coming out in the next few months. But you got media days in a month. SEC media days are 4 weeks away, so that means that the start of camp really is 5 weeks away. This is going to happen really quickly.
It's coming.
It really is. I know we've got the countdown going, and once you get into the 70s, like those days go by incredibly quickly. So before you know it, it's going to be football season. 877-377-6963 to get with us on halftime. And Drew, in the next segment, we're going to introduce you to, I think, one of our listeners' favorite segments, in the Alexander Dumas of the week. Although we actually do have a listener named Alex Dumas.
I saw him tweeted you.
Who I think he does appreciate that this segment is named after him-ish. But it is some of the worst plays going on in baseball right now, because that's the only games that are being played. What's the dumbest play you've ever seen in your life? We got a couple of them coming up. Stay with us.
Dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Catalon.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This song might make you feel cool, but it perfectly describes a fool. I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road and gonna ride till I can't no more, and can't nobody tell me nothing. This path will only lead you to God's wrath, because the Bible says the wicked refuse discipline and treat his words like trash. What good is a nice beat when you're headed down the wrong street? I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Catalon.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This song might make you feel cool, but it perfectly describes a fool. I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road and gonna ride till I can't no more, and can't nobody tell me nothing. This path will only lead you to God's wrath, because the Bible says the wicked refuse discipline and treat his words like trash. What good is a nice beat when you're headed down the wrong street? I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie.
Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Your 1-2 from Paulette. And it's popped up short center. That's going to be trouble. And that drops. No, great play. Robert Moore with an over-the-shoulder catch. Chance for a double play. Throws to first. He got him. Robert Moore. Oh, wow. He went 50 feet into the outfield. It looked like he had no chance to get there. He made a Willie Mays over-the-shoulder catch and gets Cruz doubled off at first base.
Need a little bit more halftime in your life? Make sure to download the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast. Eastside Liquor in Fort Smith has the best deals in the River Valley on liquor, beer, and wine. Stop by 9390 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith and make sure to check out their Facebook page for weekly specials. The Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast is part of the Hit That Line Podcast Network and is available wherever you listen to podcasts.
We appreciate Eastside Liquor staying with us for a while here as your exclusive halftime podcast sponsor. Also appreciate Wheels RV in Springdale. That's the place to go to find your brand new RV that's going to take you all throughout this lovely state of ours. I love the state park system in Arkansas, Drew. That's one area you're going to have to explore here.
Oh, for sure.
You can explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands, best prices as well at Wheels RV. Plus, lifetime warranty on every new purchase and a mobile service shuttle that keeps you camping. Wheels RV, 5 miles west off I-49. That's exit 72. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV. So you come into this segment with that great play from Robert Moore. That would be on the opposite end of the extreme of some of the worst plays that are happening right now in Major League Baseball. This happened 2 days ago. So, I mean, let's go ahead and introduce Drew, Maddie, to our segment open, which this initially was called. This segment was called Dumb of the Week. We weren't allowed to say that word anymore. So we changed it to the Alexander Dumas of the Week, and it starts like this.
And I was wondering what Dumas would make of all this. Come again. Alexandre Dumas. He wrote The Three Musketeers.
Are you stupid or something?
Are you stupid? I don't think so, no. Did you eat a lot of paint chips when you were a kid?
Stupid is as stupid does, sir.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. God have mercy on your soul.
What was supposed to do, you moron?
Calm down. Have some dip.
Are you crazy or just plain stupid?
Mama says stupid is as stupid does.
So you're a smart man who said some really stupid things.
Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas. Dumbass.
Dumas. You know what that's about?
We're talking about our idiot kicker who got liquored up and ran his mouth off.
So
Are those kazoos?
Those are kazoos playing the Monday Night Football.
That's how serious this is.
That is perfect.
We take our Dumasery very seriously here. So this happened a couple of days ago in Milwaukee. Maybe the Arizona D-backs are worse than the Pirates. I know their record says they're worse, but the Pirates were the team that had the monopoly on the really dumb plays.
They really did.
Until 2 days ago. Nick Ahmed and Josh Rojas are middle infielders for the Arizona D-backs. And Milwaukee Brewers have Daniel Vogelbach at second base. He tries to round third on a base hit. He injures himself rounding third. But listen to what happened on the play.
That is hit into center. It's going to get a run home. Vogelbach stumbles falling around the third base bag. And he's still not to home plate. Get it in. Get it in. Throw the ball. Oh, my goodness. Dan Vogelbach came up lane coming around third. He was standing there halfway to home, and nobody threw it in.
Now you have to I'll have to apologize. That happened in Arizona. You can hear the boos coming down from the home crowd because Vogelbach, a sniper shot him in the hamstring on his way
Blew
around
out a
third
tire.
base. And he's limping to the plate. All that Rojas or Ahmed had to do, and both of them touched the ball, they took a look over there. Maybe they didn't see him coming home from third base limping. Maybe they expect somebody's going to be running. They did not throw the ball. And you hear Steve Berthium, the former ESPN News Sports Center anchor, who's been the TV voice of the D-backs for a few years now, say, throw the ball.
Get it in. Get it in.
It's I mean that is pretty much almost as bad as the play that the Pirates had that I've got to play for you again.
Here's the 0-2 home and a swing and a ground ball on to third base. He took a neck-high pitch and hit it on the ground to third. Now Baez running back toward home plate. Tag him quickly. And what did Craig do there? They get a run out of that, and now they got to get the out at first. And they throw it into right field. That's going to get a run for the Cubs. Oh, my, what a loony play, and he's in at second base. Just tag him out. What was that? The Cubs are going to get a run, and Baez is safe at second base on a routine ground out to third. Oh, the Calliopes can be heard from here to Sewickley.
Joe Block on the call. The only time the word Calliope.
Love the Calliope mention.
On a baseball call. So these are two of the dumbest plays that have ever happened in baseball history, and they came 3 weeks, but they came 3 weeks apart. You know, so those to me are two of the dumbest things I've ever seen. Still, though, when it comes to dumb plays and a broadcaster just kind of grabbing that call perfectly. Now, I'm a big fan of John Miller, who of course did ESPN Sunday Night Baseball for years. Longtime Oriole broadcaster. He's been with the Giants now for, gosh, it's been like 22, 23 years, and he is terrific. This is my favorite call of the dumbest play of maybe one of the dumbest plays in the history of the game.
The pitch. Swinging. There's a shot deep into right center. Racing back to Lucci. Still going back into Death Valley. It goes right over his glove. He missed it. But Ruben Rivera missed second base. Now he's heading for third, and they're going to throw him out by plenty. But the throw to third is botched. Now he's heading home. The loose ball in the infield, and he's out by 5 feet at the plate. And that was the worst base running in the history of the game. The game should be over, and Ruben Rivera just did the worst base running you will ever see. Unbelievable.
That is just a classic call.
It's great.
It's the worst base running in the history of the game.
Because how at the major league level do you forget to touch second, or you just absolutely 100% whiff at second base, and then to slide and then get up, kind of look around, and then decide you're going to run home and just out, like you said, by about 5 to 10 steps. It really is just gives you a headache if you're a fan of that team. And some of the plays that you just played, they sound like somebody was doing play-by-play for a coach pitch team of 7-year-olds.
Right. Well, it's because you have an expectation at any, at major levels of sports. And I also go the same, like for in college football, like you got to know the certain rules. And I think a lot of people that are listening here, if I'm going to ask you, the dumbest play you've ever seen in your life is probably the fake punt, the fake fair catch that North Texas pulled against the Razorbacks. And I mean, that was That was almost the prototypical play of the less than 2 year Chad Morris era, and it was a national embarrassment for the football program.
It was.
So I think you'd put that in that category. And I don't remember the way it was called, and I don't remember Chuck's call from it, but you just kind of end up standing beside yourself when you see something like that happen. Now, I've done something stupid on a baseball field before as a kid trying to make my high school baseball team. And I'm at tryouts, and there wasn't enough catcher's gear. I was a catcher growing up. There wasn't enough catcher's gear to actually get in there and try to catch, because they had lined up 3 or 4 different guys, X amount of feet apart to have a little batting practice session. So I end up putting on all the catcher's gear that I can, but there's no mask. I get behind the plate, and dude throws a pitch to a batter with me and no mask behind the plate. There's the only time I've ever been referred to as, "Hey, you idiot," on a baseball field, and felt like it was justified. I've been called "Hey, you idiot" in other moments that might not have been justified. That was perfectly justified. That's the dumbest thing I ever did on a baseball field.
What was your plan if the batter foul tipped it off right in your face? I mean, were you just trying to be that tough, and you thought, if I could take a ball to the face, it'll show these coaches that I want to be here, that I'm tough as nails.
This is before Happy Gilmore was produced, so I wasn't going to be like, "Hey, look at how I can be tough," and it was just a really stupid moment. I guess try to impress a coach, and I did. Did I make the team that year? That was my freshman year or sophomore year. I didn't make it freshman. I did make it sophomore. So that's probably the reason I didn't make it. They was like, "Are we gonna like bring on this idiot onto this team this year?" Yeah, let him realize a catcher's mask is rather important.
It's kind of important.
Yeah, I would say that's rather important. So it's good to introduce you to the Duma of the Week, because now the next one is up to you to find.
Love it.
And I'll tell you what, I used to think it was easy to find one. We try to keep it sports-related. Not all the time is it sports, but during the summer, in baseball season, this time of the year, and this is a point of contention in baseball, there's a lot of people that think players don't really know how to play the game. And if you don't know when to tag a guy or when to throw home, that would be prime evidence of that. Halftime right back. Stay with us.
With no fees or minimums on checking and savings accounts, banking with Capital One is like the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Kind of like choosing Charles Barkley in a pickup game.
We'll take Barkley.
Ha! First pick. Sorry, kids.
Yep, even easier than that. And with our top-rated app, you can bank anytime, anywhere, making Capital One an even easier decision.
Okay, here's the plan. Pass me the ball every time.
This is banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
New consumer accounts only. Approval required. Terms apply. Capital One N.A. member FDIC.
If we go to page 11 in the presentation, you'll see that we're on target to meet our quarterly.
Some things never change, like nobody can resist popping plastic bubbles, and Geico saving folks lots of money on their car insurance.
As I was saying, we're on target to meet. Excuse me, Miss Hansen.
Sorry, almost done.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Frank Girl Furniture knows the price of lumber, houses, cars, and gas are going up. We thought you might need a break. For the month of June, Frank Girl Furniture is doing no sales tax. You heard right, no sales tax on living room, dining room, and bedroom. American-made furniture, in-store no credit check financing, and service after the sale. Frank Roll Furniture, 405 4th Street, Barling, Arkansas. Appliances and electronics excluded.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Some of my fondest childhood memories are from volunteering with my grandmother. Helping others was her passion. She'd always say, "The sweetest fruits of life come from serving others." And she was right.
At Shelter Insurance, we strive to make a positive impact in the communities where we work and live.
Ask Shelter agents Brandon Zimmerman or Chris Dooley about a free insurance review.
Hi, this is Melissa with True Grit Running Company. Each day we see familiar faces who have supported us from the beginning because they see the benefits of an active lifestyle. We're also always meeting new customers who are taking their first steps towards making running or walking a part of daily life. We have the opportunity to share in their successes and help them achieve their goals. The people of Fort Smith and the River Valley are why we believe we were voted one of the best running stores in America. Visit us and see how we can help you. True Grit Running Company, 6808 Rogers Avenue, Suite B, behind Chick-fil-A.
Warmer weather is on the way. Don't wait till you're sweating in a hot car. Get to Cherokee Tire & More in Mansfield, where they are ready to provide AC services for all of your vehicles. Whatever service you need for your vehicle, give Cherokee Tire & More a call for a time to come by. Cherokee Tire & More also has big truck and ATV tires, along with truck accessories like rough country lift kits. Located at 700 Highway 71 North in Mansfield, Cherokee Tire & More is open Monday through Friday 7 to 5:30 and Saturday 7:30 till 2.
Come one, come all for the new Under the Big Top menu at your locally owned TGI Fridays. It's food and fun for everyone with new circus-inspired items like the new Whiskey Glazed Donut Burger, the new famous Whiskey Glazed Skewer, and the new Cotton Candy Cosmo. The patio is open, so come by and enjoy the great happy hour specials at TGI Fridays in Fort Smith. You can order online for curbside pickup by calling 479-484-0906 or order online at Fridays.com. Your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rogers in Fort Smith.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Silly!
Moody in the backcourt across the timeline. Smith's going to get a windmill slam on the other end. Nobody got back for LSU, 83-73 with 12 seconds to go.
Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
877-377-6963. Get with us in these last couple of segments. On halftime, we're all big Virginia baseball fans tonight, right? 6 o'clock first pitch.
Wahoo, wah.
Get those Texas Longhorns out of that thing. You already have the first semifinal set. Vanderbilt, North Carolina State. Vandy needs 2 wins. And then Mississippi State awaits either the Who's or the Horns. So go Who's, and then go Who's again. So as of now, you got a good chance at having an all-SEC, ACC semifinals. And then I would like to see an all-ACC semifinals, so I don't have to pick between. Gosh, I mean, if it comes between Vanderbilt and Mississippi State, I'll watch because I think it'll be a great series. But I'll have zero rooting interest whatsoever, except maybe for one team to get completely embarrassed. And if that was the case, I'd like it to be Mississippi State.
If it came down to Vandy and State, I would be rooting for Vandy because State fans are already obnoxious enough, and them having a title in one of the big 3 sports of college athletics would be unbearable.
I'm going to say that. So there's this guy, what is his name? Brandon Walker. He's on Barstool. He's a complete and utter clown. And I think he just realized that Mississippi State has a baseball program. He's been a fan of theirs, I guess, since birth, but I guess he never even realized there was a sport called baseball for his baseball school that wants to be a football school. So, you know, and I love their radio. We've had their radio guy on this show, Jim Ellis, a number of times. He's tremendous.
Oh, great guy.
I like Ron Polk, the former longtime head coach there, who does radio now with them, and Coach Polk is an incredibly entertaining man. I love Everett Kennard, who's the famous bus driver for all the big Mississippi State programs, who's got a big following on Twitter. But because of Brandon Walker, and because of I'd rather Arkansas win a national title before Mississippi State in baseball. I would go with Vanderbilt too. So I would turn the games on silent because I just can't deal with the whistling. You know how I feel.
Oh yeah, can't have the Vandy whistler ruining your night. And the thing is, I don't know any Vandy fans. I don't know if any of you know Vandy fans, and if you do, they're probably not real Vandy fans. I mean, they just kind of had to pick a team and felt like, I'll pick Vandy. Nobody's gonna question it, or really, they're just gonna look at me like, oh, okay. But so at least there, you wouldn't have to deal with it. Whereas State, between the cowbells and the maroon and white fight stuff, them yelling national champions will just be obnoxious.
College baseball, Drew, is at a position now where, the popularity is really, and we've said this for a while, but it really does feel like it's taking off. It's never going to be at the level of college basketball and college football. I know that, but the popularity of that sport is light years where it was, I think, even 5 or 6 years ago.
I'd agree with that.
So with the other sports that I bring up there, with college football, you've got bandwagon fans across the country. You've got Alabama Crimson Tide fans that wouldn't be able to point to Alabama on a freaking map. My cousin, I think I brought this up. You don't know this, though. I got a cousin who's a little older than me, grew up in New York City, or in New Jersey, as a fan of the New York teams. He was a Nebraska Cornhuskers fan for college football. You know why? Because they were great at that time. And that's utter bandwagoning right there.
It is.
For college basketball, you've got a lot of Duke fans that would, have no chance to ever get into the university, don't even know where it's located. They know it's by some road that has tobacco to do with it, but that's about it. But they know that Duke wins. So, you got Yankees fans like that. You got Cowboys fans and Steelers fans like that, too. Is Vanderbilt like the future bandwagon college baseball program? Is there even one of those available right now?
I think Vandy or LSU would fit that mold just because of recent success. And, I mean, they both have a lot of great respect in college baseball. I think Texas could probably, unfortunately, fit that mold as a quick bandwagon team because most people – if you're just trying to pick a team in college baseball, you've heard of Texas. So you're like, okay. I mean, they've got to be good.
The thing about Texas, though, Drew, and I feel like this turns people off, is the horns up thing and how precious they are about horns down. How they got the Big 12 to pass a rule about it, and it's just, to me, like, that's a total turnoff. And I can't speak for all national media members, but if you're looking to bandwagon on to one, don't bandwagon on with somebody that's completely precious like that. I feel like on a national perspective, there were sports people who really don't follow college baseball that started to get into it a little bit this year, and I feel like they bandwagoned onto the Razorbacks.
I think that they really did, and especially you see it all over the social medias. And while I don't take really anything that comes out of Barstool very serious, yeah, it's cool.
Don't worry, they don't either.
It's the hip new sports media. Them youngsters, them kids, they like it. They think it's funny and they think it's great. But they helped push that Arkansas bandwagon on the internet and on a younger generation that follows them. And of course, I mean, they absolutely love Eric Musselman because he joins their show because he knows that's what the young people like to listen to, and it helps create an image for him. So, and that's kind of leaked over for everything Muss has done, has leaked over into baseball.
Can Arkansas basketball kind of get that a little bit of that following nationally? Because I mean, last year's team was a lot of fun to watch. It's tough to just glom on to players year after year because every 2 years it feels like every year it's going to change dramatically. But you do have a core of returning players that make you feel like, it's got some of the personality back from last year. But because Muss is so out there and so visible in a very positive way,
yes,
and in an entertaining way. I mean, did you see the photo he had with Kijani Wright, the 5-star prospect, power forward out of California?
That dude big.
He had the photo of him of him looking like it's Malone and Stockton next to each other because, Muss always takes these famous NBA photos with the incoming recruits on their official visits. He's done the Allen Iverson stepping over Ty Lue. He's done a bunch of them, and it's hilarious. I mean, that gets play nationally and turns people that don't know where Arkansas really is located into at least fans of the coach and maybe fans of the team as well. Like, I feel Razorback basketball might be poised. Not at that moment yet. You got to get to the Final Four. You got to win a national title. This
is the build-up where we're seeing the build-up in front of our eyes of what's going to pay off. I mean, Eric Musselman has got to – I would say he's one of the best coaches in college basketball, not only for what he does on the floor, but like you said, it is an entertainment, is entertaining, is an out-there type of guy, and has really – he's going to kind of be the playbook that I think a lot of coaches follow in today's basketball with how great Eric Musselman is out of the transfer portal and how great he does connecting with this younger generation, how great he does showing that you can come here and you can have fun, you can play your style of basketball to where you don't have to worry about kids transferring out and leaving your program once the buddy niceness of recruitment all goes away. He seems like he is writing the playbook for how to coach this generation and generations after it in college basketball and to keep the game going and keep it exciting.
And every day these days he's bringing up some well, he told us when he was last on the show how now he'll get to those daily quotes, about how to run a program, stuff like that. And today it says bad attitudes can capsize a program, and that is very well said. And I think he would definitely know that. Didn't look like he had those bad attitudes last year, did it?
No.
Winning cures everything, doesn't it?
It does.
Man, I mean, have you followed any of this story coming out of Wisconsin basketball and the recording of the 7 seniors who were in a meeting with Coach Greg Gard, and they were basically telling him, and this was back in February. This recording just came out publicly a couple of weeks ago, 37 minutes or something like that of the players, these seniors telling the coach that recruited them to campus, and then this was obviously not a great year for Wisconsin, and they were expected to do well. They were telling him, Coach, we don't have a relationship. They were basically telling him, we do not trust you. We do not want to talk to you. We do not like talking to you. So, I mean, in that case, it's like the coach was the one almost maybe with the bad attitude in that sense.
Yeah, I've read the story. I have yet to listen to the audio, but it's definitely not a good sign for Wisconsin if that's how your own players feel. And it's not. And now that it's out, it ain't definitely going to help the future players or anybody that's going to want to come and join that program.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. It's a bad situation going on there in Madison right now, and much better situation with Arkansas basketball these days. All right, we get to wrap this show up after the break with halftime homework, and we'll teach each other a little bit about ourselves. You could give Drew some pointers on what it's like to be a Razorback fan too. We appreciate that. 877-377-6963.
Farm Credit has been a trusted friend for over 100 years. They are ag financing experts. So whether you're a longtime farmer, new to farming, or buying your dream home or land in the country, their experienced staff has a plan to fit your goals, needs, and your bottom line. From farms to land, livestock, equipment, and more, Farm Credit finances it all. Learn more at myaglender.com. Farm Credit is an equal opportunity lender.
When you want beer, you go to a bar. When you want top-shelf spirits, wines, handcrafted cocktails, and cigars, in an atmosphere benefiting a destination, you go to 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Try our new menu items including fish and chips, classic club sandwiches, Caesar and Cobb salads, or stick to your favorites, dine in or carry out. Enjoy our state-of-the-art air filtration system. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge, defining nightlife in downtown Fort Smith. Doors open at 4 Tuesday through Saturday.
Standard Materials Group has immediate openings for ready-mix drivers in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you have a CDL license without an automatic restriction and want to be home every night, want to work with a company that offers great pay, benefits, and a great team environment with growth opportunities, apply today at jobs.crh.com. Again, that's jobs.crh.com. Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Shed bright LED lights on your project with a 4-foot strip light from Metters Lumber True Value for only $29.99. This 2-lamp light with circular lens has the look of a fluorescent fixture with the efficiency of LED technology. It features 4,200 lumens and a 50,000 hour life. For your convenience, it can be surface, toggle, or chain mounted. Check out this bargain of the month while supplies last at Metters Lumber True Value.
Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith is your source this summer for backyard fun. Hi, Tommy Kraft here. There's no better way to enjoy family and friends than with your own above-ground pool this summer from Burton Pools and Spas. And they're on sale this month, starting at just $19.99. Come on by Burton's, pick them up, take them home, and save a bundle on above ground pools. Don't miss this opportunity to make the backyard of your dreams a reality. They've got a limited supply available right now. Ask about the full line of Doughboy above ground pools, the best pool on the market, built to last for years of enjoyment by you and your family. Check out Doughboy above ground pools right now and save big at Burton Pools and Spas. They're on 0 Street in Fort Smith and just off I-49 at the 412 exit in Springdale. And you can always see Burton's full lineup online at burtonpools.com. Burton Pools and Spas. They're your source for backyard fun.
With over 40 years combined experience, the team at the law offices of Craig L. Cook understand the definition of work. Real work. Working for you. Whether you've been injured in an auto accident, on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help navigating bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook, with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
When was the last time you looked forward to seeing the dentist? Well, if it's been a while or you haven't had the best of experience with dentistry, meet Marcy Van Ash McKinney in Family Dentistry. They take care of it all. Crowns, bonding, dentures, bleaching, and cosmetic dentistry. They even offer oral consciousness sedation available for your comfort. That's Marcy Van Ash McKinney Family Dentistry at 807 South 21st. Call for an appointment today, 494-7600. That's 494-7600.
This is ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
Stady follows her to the three-point line, and now Dungy looking for a head of steam. Step back three. Dungy got Stady got a hand on it. Recovered by Thomas. Sends to Ramirez. Corner three won't go. Dungy offensive rebound. Stick back. Yes, a reverse stick back by Chelsea Dungy.
Find us on 99.5 and 1290 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith in the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs in Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now, back to the guys. Here's Phil Elson, Matty T, and Drew Barrett.
Thursday night, that means 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge is open for you till midnight tonight. They'll be open until 1 a.m. tomorrow and Saturday. It's at 906 Garrison Avenue, downtown Fort Smith. Great food, great drinks, and the best hand-rolled cigars available anywhere in the state of Arkansas. Plus, the air replacement system, going to get rid of that air every 4 minutes and replace it with the freshest air you're ever going to breathe. That's at 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge, 906lounge.com for more information. Caller on hold. Scott has called us up on halftime. You can do the same, 877-377-6963. Hey, Scott, what's up?
Hey, I've got a question. You know, I love y'all's show. Welcome to the show, Drew. I'm glad you're there. Y'all are an awesome show. But my question is, you know Florida's head coach, Kevin O'Sullivan, and you got Tim Corbin, and there was another coach. Who was their head coach above them when they were assistants? They were all on the same team.
Now you're talking. Are you talking at Vanderbilt specifically? Because I think Corbin.
No, not at Vanderbilt. The specific. This was like the school. They were like Kevin O'Sullivan and Corbin. They were assistants under another coach. I think Tanner was too from South Carolina Gamecocks.
Yeah.
Who was their head coach?
Well,
I was just wondering in case y'all did that. I thought David Van Horn was a part of that staff at one time when they were young.
No, Dave's never been an assistant. He's always been a head coach since he's, as far as being he's never an assistant. That
I didn't know if y'all could ever find out. I know I've heard them. They were together a lot. They were good friends.
Just off of a quick Google search there, Scott, Tim Corbin and O'Sullivan were both on the Clemson staff at the same time.
I knew Corbin worked at Clemson. I'd forgotten that O'Sullivan had.
Yes, sir. I guess that's what. And they've had some good staff, great coaches have come out of that. But I mean, as far as y'all are talking about NC State, I'm a Gator fan, but I lived in North Carolina a lot. And now I live in Lead Hill, Arkansas for the last 4 years. But I root for Arkansas. I mean, I wish they were there. I miss them. I wish they had a good team. They had my Lord, that was just unbelievable. It just didn't hit. when you need a hit, you need a hit. You know, it's all about momentum in baseball.
That is.
I know that for sure. But
I appreciate the phone call, man. Let's see, yeah, and I remember that Corbin had been an assistant at Clemson. I'd forgotten about O'Sullivan. Corbin, and I didn't even realize Corbin had been interviewed to be the LSU head coach when they hired Paul Maneri.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if he's I don't think he's a candidate right now from the last I'd read, and this came from the Advertiser in Louisiana this morning. The finalists for the LSU baseball job are Jay Johnson of Arizona, Cliff Godwin of ECU, and Link Jarrett, who is the coach at Notre Dame, which would be interesting because that's where Maneri coached before taking the job at LSU. So those
kind of a weird connection, but if you're Tim Corbin, I mean, there's no way you would even be interested in it, right?
Well, I don't know.
I mean, I know LSU baseball is LSU baseball, and I would have given my right arm and probably my left leg to have played baseball there, but you're at Vandy a few games away. If you're able to keep the momentum from last night going, you're a few games away from winning back-to-back titles.
Unless it's just about the money, because I don't know if Vandy necessarily would be able to pay what LSU is paying for baseball right now. I think Corbin's being paid well, not at the level of what LSU. I think what the number was thrown out was like $2.1 million, but. There's an advantage too for Corbin right now because he kind of almost operates outside of the athletic department in and of himself as the real that's the crown jewel of that department. And there's all the things that Vanderbilt can do with scholarship money that LSU cannot. So it'd be interesting if he even looks at that gig right now. I would be surprised if he does. I would.
Well, I mean, as of right now, from what I've been able to find, and this comes from athleticdirectoru.com about Autonomy 5, Power 5 head baseball coaches and their salaries, and it's got Tim Corbin at about a hair under 1.3, but doesn't have any of the breakdowns or specifics of the deal because obviously Vandy, being a private university, don't have to tell you what each employee is getting paid. That you can't go through the Freedom of Information Act on a private institution like that. So I wouldn't doubt it if, bonuses and incentives and everything, that he wasn't making LSU money as it is. Because, I mean, who else are they throwing that money around? The new football coach, Charlie Lay, right? That's his name?
What's the name again?
Charlie Lay. That's the guy who's now the head coach of Vandy.
Charlie Lee. I don't remember how you say the last name specifically, but I know it's Lea.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, I'd be surprised if he were to leave there. I really would. I think LSU's looking in a different direction now anyway, and it's not going to be Tony Vitello.
Mm-hmm.
And Tennessee's going to make him a really well-paid head coach. He's making a little more than $400,000 now. He's going to be making a heck of a lot more than that very soon. All right, some of the texts have come in here about what it's like to be a Razorback fan for you, Drew. So let's do our let's do it. Let's do some halftime homework.
What kind of homework assignment? Kind of a tough assignment. I'm thinking we should talk about the homework assignment.
Dude, did you do all your homework last night?
I'm not doing it. This is hard.
You really did your homework, didn't you?
It's time for halftime homework.
What do you boys have for me today?
I got halftime homework brought to you by our friends at Riley Park. At Riley Farm Dental at 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A. Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan, serving patients with better lives and having comfortable experiences every time you come through at Riley Farm Dental. They'll provide all dental procedures, braces, implants, cosmetics, and been voted top 3 best of the best 4 years running. You walk in, you find immediately you are part of the Riley Farm Dental family. More information at RileyFarmDental.com, 226-3500. Let's see. Ryan in Prairie Grove tells you, Drew, that being a Hog fan is just like baseball. It's the dirtiest, rotten, most unfair, hottest, most beautiful thing in the world. And I love his text that's baseball, Susan. I love it. And it's basically him doing the John Sterling thing every time something weird happens with the Yankees or they lose a game. That's baseball, Susan. It's pretty much how he thinks about it. So basically, I'm not giving you homework, though, Drew. I want to give you a halftime pop quiz if I can right now.
Yeah, I saw this.
So I need you to say 3 nice things you the Baltimore Ravens fan, say 3 nice things about the Pittsburgh Steelers. Don't flunk your first pop quiz, okay?
I'll try not to, but I mean, you know that this is going to be a halftime pop quiz for you next week, right? You know I'm just going to do the exact same thing to you.
I thought you were more creative than that.
Fine. I'll keep it in my back pocket, but
Okay.
when I'm saving it for the first matchup of Ravens Steelers this year. So just go ahead and be prepared. But I will play your little game, Professor Phil.
Don't talk the clock to empty, okay? You got to make sure you got to get these 3 things done. Otherwise, the show gets extended another hour.
The Steel Curtain was the second best defense of all time. There's one.
Behind which one?
I mean, obviously the Ravens in the early 2000s. I mean, that's just without. I didn't think I had to explain it or say it. I mean, it's obviously the second best defense after that. So that there's a compliment. Lynn Swann was pretty good. He did ballet, so that was cool.
He's in the Hall of Fame. He's better than pretty good.
I heard he's a great dancer, though. I mean, in the ballroom, he is phenomenal. So there's another good thing I've said.
He was not a great candidate for governor of Pennsylvania, though. He did lose that. He did lose that race. I think he was a better ballet dancer than potential governor.
And it really was a mistake by Mike Tomlin to step onto the field in front of Jacoby Jones so he didn't score a kickoff return touchdown. It really was a mistake. He was just trying to look at the video board. He wasn't actually playing dirty. So there's a compliment.
That's not a compliment.
That is a compliment. He didn't do it on purpose.
You're making an excuse for a coach. That's not a compliment.
Okay.
It's not a compliment. Right now, you're getting a C+ in your pocket.
Okay. I'll give another positive. As far as ownership goes, the Rooneys own the Steelers, right?
They do.
It's the Rooneys. Probably some of the best owners in the NFL, if I had to be honest.
Did that hurt to say that a little bit?
It did. It did hurt.
All right, I'll give you a passing grade.
Thank
you.
you.
Can get yourself a B, but that's only because
because
I had to egg on one of those, and I could tell the pain that came into you there.
Well, here's my homework for you, Phil, and it's actual homework.
Okay.
And I'm gonna need a report by gonna say at least Tuesday if you've done your homework assignment.
No, I'll give you my report Thursday. I get a week. A week for our assignments.
I'll give you a week for the assignment. Your assignment is to listen to, in the next week, Little White.
Is that little with 2 T's?
No, that is Lil.
Is there apostrophe?
WYTE, Little White.
Okay, all of these folks are going to be spelled incorrectly somehow, right? Keep going.
Yo Gotti, and it has to be original. It has to be like original Yo Gotti. And what
Is
I mean
Yo
by
Gotti
there,
anything like Yo Gabba Gabba?
No.
You mean before he sold out?
A little bit. I mean, and the Yo Gotti you have to listen to has to be from Cocaine Music 1 through 3. I will accept
Very
4.
specific.
I will accept 4 if you wanted to go outside the lines, but 1 through 3, and you got to listen to Frasier Boy and or Project Pat. Probably both of them.
What if I just watch like a season of Frasier? Does that count?
That does not count because Frasier's in Seattle. This is all Memphis music. This is the stuff. These are the guys that I grew up listening when I was getting my street cred, as one would say.
All right, then. So for Drew, for Matty T, for Lil White, Yo Gotti, and Frasier Boy, I'm Phil. See you with you tomorrow. Get up, get out, get better.
This time of year is hectic, and we know you have things to do and places to be. Southern Tire Mart can help you get there and save you money on America's most trusted brands like Michelin and BF Goodrich. Take advantage of our $29.95 oil change, which includes a 27-point vehicle inspection. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart just off I-540 at exit 14 in Fort Smith today for quality Michelin and BF Goodrich tires and the best-in-class service. Get where you need to be with Michelin, BF Goodrich, and Southern Tire Mart.
I chose Actually Air just because I've always wanted to work for the best. I asked a lot of folks at my church who the best